Chance would have it, actually, the verdict in that trial was actually just released 3 days ago. Huddersfield grooming, 20 guilty of campaign of rape and abuse. Let me read a bit about this to show you how shocking it was and why Tommy was outside the court. 20 men have been found guilty of being part of a grooming gang that raped and abused girls as young as 11 in Huddersfield. The men were convicted of more than 120 offenses against 15 girls. Victims were plied with drink and drugs and then used and abused at will in a 7-year campaign of rape and abuse between 2004 and 2011. So please understand what this is. It is not an opportunistic rape in a back alley, a smash and grab style crime. This is a systemic, perpetual, slow motion crime done hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times over 7 years. As in, these girls were entrapped, they were tricked, they were blackmailed, and then they were constantly exploited and raped. They were turned into slaves. These are children, by the way. These are not adult women. These were kids, and these were men. And all but 2 of the convicts are Pakistani Muslim men. They would approach these girls, remember these are 11-year-old girls, and offer them, in some cases, a candy, or a cigarette, or a drink of liquor, or even just a ride in a fancy car. And then they would get these girls to do something to show their gratitude, or show that they wanted a real boyfriend, like send the man a naked selfie maybe. And then they were trapped. Or maybe they were trapped in other ways, such as becoming a drug addict at such a young age. And so the men would say, you've sent me a naked selfie, and if you don't have sex with me now, I will send this picture to your mother and shame you and put it on the internet. And so the child would comply. And then the men would say, well, now what you've done, if you don't let my friends rape you too, we'll do the same. And then they were trapped and they were exploited, and these girls were raped and raped endlessly night after night by this gang of men for 7 years. And there were threats of violence, and there was violence. And police and the press and social workers are all shy about speaking out because they don't want to be called racist. And these girls, well, they must be bad girls. They must be runaways. They must have low morals. And where are their parents, by the way? Because they were white, working class girls, and the men were mainly Pakistani Muslim. And what are you, Islamophobe, you bigot? Shut up about this. Let me read some more from the BBC story. The men, all from Yorkshire, went by nicknames, including Dracula, which Naman Mohammed was known as. Mohammed Imran Ibrar was known as Bully. Abdul Rahman was nicknamed Beastie. Imagine how cruel they must have been, raping 11-year-old girls to begin with night after night, and then to have those nicknames on top of it. One more quote. Such was the men's hold over the girls. One mother said her child cracked her head, jumping from a first-floor balcony at their home in order to get out after they ordered her to meet them. The girl later told police, every time I went out, something bad happened. I risked my life every time. I was a mess. Another victim who only escaped the abuse when her family had to move following a house fire said, it was the best thing I ever did, and that's bad, saying that burning your house down is the best thing you ever did. So this horror, this 7-year nightmare, is what Tommy was protesting, and he was the only journalist outside the court. That's an excerpt from my daily show, the Ezra Levant Show, weekdays at 8 p.m. Eastern. Every day I do a monologue, interview a guest, and read my fan mail and my hate mail. To subscribe, go to therebel.media/shows.